One of my favorite things in the world is to learn about the wonders of evolved beings, evolved creatures. Just how, for example, I live in a redwood forest, and redwood needles are in the precise shape to collect the right amount or the most fog, the most water possible from fog. And likewise, we hear about honeybees and their perfect hexagons for their honeycombs, but it ends up they're not actually perfect hexagons. That they are actually slightly uh, the angles at the corners are not all the same because they have evolved to be the best for weight bearing, and it actually ends up being better than perfect. And um, I I have lived most of my life in the rural West, which is fire dependent. The forests are fire dependent, and there are species of trees, species of pine, who have evolved that their pine cones only open after a fire. They have to be heated before they'll pop. And I've known for years about the existence of blackback woodpeckers, and they evolved to have black backs because they basically move from area that just burned to area that just burned, and their black backs will camouflage them against scorched trees. And just this last year, or just this last summer, I learned of the existence of certain species of beetle who have evolved to have heat and smoke sensors. And so when they smell smoke and when they detect heat, they fly toward it. And then they wait until the forest is cooled enough for them to fly in, and they immediately go after the dead wood. And then, of course, they're eaten by blackback woodpeckers. And or another example is the anglerfish. There are some species of anglerfish who live deep, deep in the oceans, and they have a problem, which is and they're carnivorous, and the deep oceans are so vast and so lightly inhabited that the chances of a male and female encountering when it's time for them to lay eggs is almost nothing. And their solution to that has been that the males evolved to be tiny, 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 and to have a tremendous sense of smell. And so they'll smell a female somewhere and they will eventually find her, but you found her, but she might not be ready to lay eggs. So their solution is that the male bites into the female, and then he dissolves, and he actually becomes a part of her body, and essentially all of him except his testes disappear. And then this is their solution, because when she's ready to lay eggs, there's a pair of testes hanging off her body to fertilize them. And it's just one of my favorite things in the world to do is to learn about these ways that nature has evolved. There's a problem and they come up with a solution. They being redwood trees or anglerfish or Pacific lampreys or whomever. And I don't, I know that we lefties generally like to laugh at the Christians who argue for intelligent design. And I don't laugh at it. And I don't know if there is a designer, and it doesn't really matter to me because it's like a friend of mine says, uh, there is also great intelligence in time. And if they, if sharks or if woodpeckers live for millions of years with fire, over time they come up with some really smart solutions to how to live with that.